Hi, in this session I'll show you how to create a silhouette type of image similar to what you see in previous ads that you probably saw on television or billboard or print, where you'd had a dancer, a silhouette of somebody dancing, and you've got these earbuds that are coming off into an iPod here. So this is something just of a neat little effect, and I'll show you how to create this. Let me go ahead and insert a new slide, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take an image off of the existing templates that they have, or the clip art. I'm just going to go look for a dance image, and I'm going to pick this image here. And it's usually a good idea to have images where you don't have too much background, so you don't have to crop too much information or take out any kind of background stuff. But in case you do, I'll kind of show you how we can do it a little bit here. But let's go ahead and crop out, let's keep this dancer, and we'll crop out the other dancers. And once we have the picture selected, we can just go under the crop command here, click that. You'll have these little border guides that you can move to crop out the image, or crop the image there where you want to keep it. So the portions where I want to keep are here, and then I'm going to move it down here, and then remove that floor and just get it right above there. Once that's selected, go ahead and just click crop again. It's going to take it out. And I want to get rid of this arm here. So what I can do in this case is I can go under the remove background. So if you had a lot of stuff in the background here, you can use this particular command to do that. I only have this arm here, so it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and click remove background, and you'll notice that it kind of kept everything here, and so it's kind of seeing that you still had some remnants of that picture. Let's see if this works. I'm going to go ahead and just move the guide there, move this one over here, and this one over here. It might keep that arm, but it didn't. So let me see. Move that down there. So if in case it did keep that arm, what we can do is we can mark some areas for removal. So for example, if I click this and I just kind of paint it, clicked on here, clicked on here, clicked on here, and it'll actually mark that area for removal. But it looks like it did a pretty good job of getting out the excess background. So I'm going to go ahead and click Keep Changes. And right now it's done it. It's removed that arm. So one thing I also like to do here, just in case that it's kept anything else from, just kept any artifacts of the previous picture, which it did when I tried to remove background, is I'm going to go ahead and select this image, do a Control X to cut it, and then go ahead and right mouse click, and just insert it, paste it back as an image. So now everything's pretty much gone. So if I click that image and click on Format and try to remove background, you'll notice that now it's only selected that. It hasn't selected the whole thing. Let me go ahead and Control Z to undo. So now that is taken care of. So what I want to do now is right click and go under Format Picture, and then have the brightness. I want to go under the picture correctness. This is at PowerPoint 2010. So I want to have the picture correctness selected, and that brightness command there, or that option, I want to make it all the way 100%. So negative 100%. So make it, take all the brightness out, and so now we have the silhouette. Go ahead and click OK. Move this over. Click Close. So now I've got the silhouette, and now I want to have one of those colorful backgrounds. All I need to do is just click on the background, right click, and go at Format Background and choose a black background color. Right now it's white, so I'm going to go ahead, make sure that solid fill is checked, or this radio button is checked, and I'm going to have this particular background color. So it's kind of one of those kind of nice, kind of a little vivid, a solid background. So I've got that set. Now I want to do is create the earbud effect. And so what I need to do here, first I'm going to go ahead and close off this little navigation panel here. I'm going to want to click on this freeform button, this freeform curve line. If you don't have this here, you can also go into Insert and go to Shapes, and it's going to be one of these line shapes here. But since I already have it, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And a good idea is to increase your view, your zoom. So I'm going to go ahead and increase that zoom a little bit, not too much. I'm going to do that a little bit more when I fine tune it. But right here, I'm going to go ahead and start to draw. I'm going to click this again. Start to draw a earbud or a wire shape. So, oops, let me Control Z to undo. Let me click on this again. All right, I'm going to click the earbud shape. I'm going to think about how it curves. So if we're thinking about where gravity takes effect where this kind of drops, and maybe this person is jumping, dancing a little bit. So maybe there's a little bit of effect of this area where it's kind of high over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and double click that to stop it. So now we have that kind of effect. Let me move this one a little bit higher too. I think the ear should probably be a little higher here. So that might work there. So you kind of have to play around and see how you want that effect to be with it curving and stuff. But I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. So once you have that selected, I'm going to go ahead and right click it, and under this mini toolbar, I'm going to have the shape outline. I want that to be white color. Also, that's a little bit too thick, so I'm going to have that one. I'm going to click this drop down, go under the weight, and I think I'm going to select, let's see, I think 1 point. I think 1 point's okay. So that kind of selects it there. I want to have the impression of having the other wire come in from the other ear, so I've got to go under and select the curve line again and kind of create a effect where it's coming off of the other side. Even though it's probably covered on the other side, try to create that effect. So I'm going to maybe increase the size here, zoom in a little bit, and go up here, and go ahead and think about how it would curve down. So I'm going to click, and then draw it curve, draw it down here, and maybe curve it a little bit. Every time you want it to curve or move, you have to click the left mouse button once to do that. So I'm going to have it stop here because this is where it's going to end, those 2 points, and double click it to stop. So now that one's selected. Go ahead and do the same thing where we're going to change the color and the weight. Select that. Right mouse click, and the shape outline is going to be white, and the weight is going to be 1. Okay, now we've got that set, and so now I want to create that one line to go into the iPod. So that's going to be another curved line. I'm going to go ahead and make the zoom in a little bit to see it a little bit better, and go ahead and start here and click, left mouse click. Let's see, I'm going to move it up here. Maybe it's kind of bouncing up here and then curving down. That was 1 click, and then maybe curve down. Let's see, I can't see it anymore. So let me go ahead and just pretend that it stopped there. Let me go ahead and double click that. No, that didn't work. So it's a good idea maybe to kind of give myself a little bit more space here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Click that, press delete, and go ahead and draw another curve. So I'm going to draw another curve, start here. I think it's going to go up a little bit, and then it's going to go down, 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 probably around there. I go double click that, and see how that works out. So even if you drew a curve and maybe there's something you want to change a little bit, you can actually edit this a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Let me go ahead and get the colors right first. Go ahead and right click and get that white, and then the weight down to 1 point. All right, so how would we change this? So once we have this selected, we can go click Format, and then click on the Edit Shape command here, and I want to edit the points. So here I want to start to kind of move it around a little bit, move this one maybe a little bit over here, and then that maybe move it a little bit, maybe a little bit lower like that, maybe a little wider like that, and then maybe move this point like maybe like that. So, and then this one maybe down here. I know that was a little bit too much. Move it back. So here's where we need to like zoom in a little bit more to see how it looks. So you can see this is moving a little bit too much. Let me go ahead and move this over here. And then let me click out of that. That might be okay because once we zoom out, you can hardly see that point. So let me just click Fit Slide to Current Window to make it back to kind of something where we can see it a little bit better. And now that looks okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in and then create the iPod. So to create the iPod, we need to select this rounded rectangle figure. So I'm going to select that. It's going to draw out a default color and default border, but we're going to change that later on. That looks a little big. I think that's good. Let me go ahead and increase the size a little bit more. All right, and now what we want to do is we want to change some of the color. So we're going to change the fill color to white, right? And then we want to change the border color, make that a kind of a light gray and also the weight on the border color needs to be much thinner, maybe 3 or maybe a half, maybe 3/4. See how that looks? 3/4 right now, right? So now we've got this nice little window. I'm going to move it down here a little bit. So when we use the mouse to adjust it, it might not give us as a fine-tune adjustment as we want. So we can press the Control and the arrow keys on the keyboard to kind of move it into place. Now I want to get a little window in here, and I can just select the rectangle shape again and just kind of draw it out, and kind of draw it out kind of right now, and then also do a right click and fill that. I think that was white. And then the border color, we can also make that grayish color, and then the weight, make that a little bit more thinner. Let's see, is that 3/4 should be okay. And here we'll probably need to control the arrow keys on the keyboard and kind of move it into place a little bit better. And then now we have that. All right, so what else can we do? There's that circle part. We can go ahead and click on this oval key, this oval shape. And when we draw it out, it draws an oval shape. But to draw a circle shape, you have to press the Shift key and then just kind of draw it out a little bit. It's going to draw a perfect circle. And there you go. So that we need to right click and also fill that with white. And then the border is going to be, we'll give that gray and also a weight that is a little bit smaller, maybe 3/4 too here. We're going to move this into place. Control and then the arrow keys on the keyboard would give us that. And we need to have that little piece in the end, that little part where it goes into the iPod. And so I'm going to go and just create a very, very small shape here, a very small rectangle shape. And it doesn't look like it's going to do that, but what I can do is I can just format the color first. Right click, make that white, and make this shape outline. It's already from the last one that I did here. It's going to give it the same gray, but the weight I need to change that. May probably change that a little bit. Let's see, maybe one half point, or maybe even one. Let's see, 1/4 point, maybe that would be better. Now this still looks a little bit big, so what we can do is fine tune a little bit and go into format, and the size here we can change it. We can make it maybe 0.3. Press tab. See how that works. Or maybe that didn't work too well. Maybe here we can change it. Let's see what happens here. 0.5 there. That didn't work out too well. I'm going to go ahead and Control Z to undo and go ahead and click Format. Let me move this over here first. Let me go ahead and, let's see, left arrow and then maybe down arrow a little bit. Let's see, let me click outside and see how that works. Well, let's see if we can change that a little bit. Maybe 0.004. Yeah, that might work a little bit better. Let me see, go ahead and Control arrow right in the middle. Maybe gonna make that go down a little bit and see how that works. I can send this to the back, right click, and then send that to the back so it's behind it. And that looks okay. So let me go ahead and see if I can move this a little bit, move it a little bit here. And of course it's gonna move it up here a little bit. Oops, let me go and click back here and go back into fit. And let's see, let me go ahead and increase the zoom here. And then I've got to move this now. See, look, this is kind of moved out of skew, so moved out of place. So let me go and click this and go to Format, Edit Shape, Edit Point, and just kind of move this a little bit over here. All right, so, well, let's see. Let me go ahead and do that again. Edit Shape, Edit Point, kind of move this over, and then see how that looks. And maybe make this a little bit bigger here, and give me like a little view here. Oh, this is a little bit, so this is challenging because now we're kind of fine-tuning a little bit, and so that's what you need to do a lot of now. Just kind of fine-tuning it to make sure that it looks just right, and that might be okay. So I'll go ahead and just click on Fit, and let's see if we put this into slideshow view, how would that look? So for all intents and purposes, it looks like an iPod. I mean, I can fine tune it some more, but you can probably do that. You probably know what I'm trying to do and the way that I'm doing it. But this is basically how you would create this kind of silhouette dancing image. As you can see from the previous one here, this one looked a little bit better, I think, because that was probably a little bit bigger, and that particular iPod was a little bigger, and so you can see it a little bit better. In this case, it was not. We had this. Oh, I can see what happened here. What we can do is we can make that little face. This part here, the fill on this part was gray, so I'm going to make that a little bit gray so you can see it a little bit here. And so if we put that into slideshow view, you can see a little bit of the outline of it. So there you have it. You can fine tune this a little bit more, but this is basically how you would create the silhouette. And you take an image and you just take the brightness and reduce it down 100%. You would use the curved lines to kind of fill out the headphone lines, and then using the shapes to make a basic iPod shape. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.